Zoom.
Oh, let's call him.
Okay, Mayor, we're ready.
Okay. Can you call Vice Mayor?
One moment, I'm helping Councilman Desume log in.
Ricardo, do you want me to read that message now or after roll call or before roll call?
What message you talking about? Public comment?
Okay.
Huh?
Yes.
We're gonna go item by item. If there's any comments about the item, the tab, then we will inform that, and after that, you're gonna read it during citizen forum.
Right, but shouldn't we advise them of the instructions before we start?
Okay. How are we gonna have live comments? Like people gonna be
People will be able to raise their hand, and then Ricardo will call out the number of all the folks who have raised their hand.
Okay.
And from there they'll be able to speak. So he'll be managing it.
Okay.
Just created the language.
But at the same time, you have public comments, right?
Right. So we'll have public hearing, and then we'll also have to forum.
Okay. But did you receive any comments?
Yes. So for those that we've already received their comments, they will not be able to, give another comment. It will be restricted. It will be limited to the one that they've already.
How many do you have?
I have, for tabs F and G, the comments are, of course, overlapping. So we have 5 for those. And then for citizens forum, we have 2.
Okay, that's why if we have it for the tab, we're gonna read the tab. When it comes to public hearing, then you will read the comments.
Right, but I'm talking about the instructions about raising your hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
If you don't mind, maybe what we can do is before we get into the agenda items, like before we even do consent agenda, I'll read the instructions to everybody so that they're aware of it, and then we'll go into consent agenda and then we'll continue on. Does that work?
Okay. Yes, that's okay. Thank you very much, everyone. It's April 28th, and it's 2:12. The regular council meeting is about to begin. Let's call to order, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Keys.
Here.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin.
Present.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Desume. Mayor Bieneme.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. Is the manager here?
I'm here, sir.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Manager, do you have any addition, deletion, or amendment to the agenda?
No, sir. Not at this.
On your surface there, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. City Attorney, is the agenda set? Do we have the City Attorney?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Yes, Mayor. The agenda set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. And now we have a special presentation about COVID-19 updates by Commander Brunson.
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
Hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Commander Angelo Brenson, Emergency Manager, for the record. As a brief overview, we have been operating under a state of emergency for past month, a little over a month, since March 13th, 2020. During that time, we have taken as a city all available precautions in coordination with the state and with the county officials to protect our residents as well as our staff members and to provide up-to-date information on a daily basis. As of this morning, in the state of Florida, there were 32,138 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Out of that number, there are currently 5,010 people who are hospitalized, and unfortunately, 1,088 people have died due to COVID-19 in Florida. Now, bringing it down to Miami-Dade County, as of this morning, we have 11,440 cases in Miami-Dade County. Out of that number, 197 cases are in West Miami for COVID-19. This information comes directly from the Florida Health Department, and we update it on a daily basis. We like to continue to remind all North Miami residents that you are not stuck at home, but you are indeed safer at home. We continue to ask that you only leave your homes for essential errands, and that whenever you do leave your home, you wear some type of mask or cloth covering over your face, and that you continue to wash your hands and use sanitizer throughout the day. That's my presentation, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Do you have any question from council members?
I guess while we're, well, I'll wait until later in my report, sir.
Any question, Carol?
Nope.
No question? Madame Marie-Estimée Irvin?
Huh? No question. Thank you.
Scott?
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Got no question? Vice
No,
Mayor?
I have no questions. For some reason, my camera is pointing away from me, and I'm trying to flip it back.
But okay, it just happened and it went away.
But Councilman Desulme, I hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to get on right now. I'm with IT.
You're on.
No, not really. I can't see that I'm on.
I see you.
Oh, I don't see you guys, huh?
I see you and I hear you. It's just the screen, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I can put everybody. Yes.
As of 2:15 p.m., Vice Mayor Desulme is present.
I'm not seeing them, so that's not
Can I see everyone on my screen, on the screen?
Okay, so can I get out and try to do
everyone? Let me put that to see. You, everyone. I don't see. Okay, can we move forward? We have a second presentation by Linda Julian from Economic Development, the Economic Development Manager. Is she there?
Yeah, if I may start, sir. Right now, we've worked with Councilman Desulme and reached out to a lot of the business owners on Northwest 7th Avenue in his district. It's on 119th Street. What we're finding is there are a lot of individuals who actually do need help as they navigate, a lot of business owners that need help as they navigate through. We're receiving some calls. So I reached out to our economic development manager, and we came up with a plan to help people fill out these loan applications. So that's the presentation she's going to go forward with, just to help individuals do their small business loan applications during these times. People who might be intimidated or something, and we can help our businesses in the city of North Miami. That time I'll turn it over to Linda.
You're talking about the SBA loan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Ricardo, can you share the presentation, please? Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and everyone who is joining us today. My name is Linda Julian, and I serve as the Economic Development Manager for the city of North Miami. What I'm presenting to you today is the NOMI Cares Technical Assistance for North Miami small businesses. In conversations with our city manager, we've learned that there is a great need for technical assistance for our small business owners. And so the NOMI Cares Technical Assistance is an initiative to help our small business owners remain sustainable through the coronavirus. Advanced slide, please. in an effort to provide tangible resources, well, just to give you a little context, last month, the CARES Act was passed by Congress on March 27th. This act consisted of the Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Grant, the Paycheck Protection Program, and the Florida Small Business Bridge Loan. The Florida Small Business Bridge Loan was depleted as of April 14th, and the Paycheck Protection Program was depleted as of April 16th. What this tells us is that there's a need. There's a dire need out there. Advanced slide, please. North Miami is in a position right now to capitalize on the second wave of funding that Congress just passed last week. This funding under the CARES Act is in the amount of $450 billion. The plan that we came up with for the small businesses, basically, so we all understand that the paperwork can get very extensive for the average person. What North Miami would be offering is technical assistance through a third party, such as an accountant, to help with the application process. Now, we would hire the third party, and we would make certain that the accountants are conversant in English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Haitian Creole. Now, you may be wondering where the funding would come from to pay the accountants. Well, for one, the city manager under the procurement code does have the authority to award contracts of $25,000 or under. And secondly, any expenses related to COVID-19 is reimbursable under the CARES Act by the federal government. Advanced slide, please. We would get the message out to the business owners through Haitian radio, through other local radio stations. We would also get the message out through City e-Blast, the city's website, and through our chambers of commerce. Next slide, please. Now, how it would work, the Economic Development Division would conduct an assessment so that we can assess the needs of the small businesses who are seeking help with the application process. Our department would manage and maintain the list of businesses requiring the technical assistance, and we would connect the business owners based on their need with the accountants. We would also monitor and facilitate the process from beginning to end.
I'm not able to see my camera though.
Next slide, please.
Hold on, Counselor.
Okay, I got it.
You got to hear about the share.
Yeah. Well, I just turned it on, but I don't really see me. So that's
I'm looking at you. You're in business.
Okay.
We're listening to your whole conversation. Can you guys mute?
Okay, so I'm going to disconnect from your computer, okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
Guys, I'm having camera issues too. For some reason, the camera has pointed to the wall. I'm going to try to sign out and sign back in, but I may have to just join without video.
Go ahead, Linda, continue.
Sure. Ricardo, would you advance to the next slide, please? Now, providing the technical assistance to our small businesses, the contribution that it would have to the economy is that it would help our small businesses retain their employees. It would help stimulate the local economy of North Miami. It would provide sustainability so that our small businesses can continue to operate. And it would allow small business owners to provide for their families as well as themselves. How the city of North Miami would benefit from this, we would be helping our small business community succeed, right? All of the expenses related to COVID-19 is 100% reimbursable under the CARES Act by the federal government. So it's a win-win. And then most importantly, we would have a lasting impact on our small business community. And that's the end of the presentation.
So if I can sum it up, Mayor, basically what we'll be doing is reaching out, putting a couple PSAs out on radio. We've already had some individuals call in with staying under the $25,000 allotted by the manager's office. This will approximately help about 50 businesses go through and do their loan applications. We would help them. If it does, and we see the need gets greater than the 50, then we'll be able to come back to council for it. But we have, received calls that people are like, hey, what do I do? How do I move forward? And we're just experiencing a lot of this with our local businesses, trying to help them out. We've seen an increase in our CUs and BTRs, because nobody had these CUs and BTRs. I mean, they kind of thought they were beating us. But when it comes back to it now, when they do need the help, they can't advance and get help. And that was clear and evident through Councilman DeSome's town hall that he had with his businesses. People can't get the help because they didn't have their BTRs and CUs. So we're working on education components now to educate the community on why they need to do this. And I just, with the CRA, you guys just approved the CRA to move forward with the $1,000 and $5,000 grant funds. One thing that I thought that we looked at doing on our side of the city's general fund side is helping people fill out the applications. Now, some people aren't going to be at that point where they're, willing to do the application. They might not have their books together to do the application, but there are going to be some people that do need the help. And we want to be there to offer them the help. And I just wanted to show you guys this presentation and have the conversation with you guys and let you know what I'm looking forward to. But I will open it up to discussion now and to see how you guys feel about this initiative that we're proposing.
Thank you very much. Is there any question?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Keys?
Okay. I think it's a great idea. My question is, you're saying that we're going to get about 50 businesses, so you're looking at spending about $500 per business.
So it'll be about $500 per business. North Miami businesses, accounting firms only in the city. Yes.
Okay, so where the accounting firms, are we going to pay them per person, or are you going to give someone a blanket contract?
It'll be per business, $500 per business that you help fill out their forms and you walk them through their process.
So that's a lot of money. Can't we get this done? Maybe get some people to do it for like $250 or $300.
That is definitely possible. Definitely possible. I had Linda did reach out and made the calls, and I think Linda came back with around between $400 or $500 when she talked to some of the businesses, between $400 or $500. So we're saying $500 at the max, but we can go back and try to negotiate the price lower.
So you're talking about the accountants' businesses?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, $500 is a lot of money if it's for an application. Are we talking about helping them fill out an application? Are we talking about walking them through their business, getting a BTR, then doing an application? Are we talking about guidance all the way through the whole procedure?
We're talking about guidance all the way through filling out the loan application, yes. So if they need to get their BTR.
$500 for the same type of application, I think $500 is a little steep. And if we get it down to $300 or $400, $350, we can serve that many more businesses. So
sounds good. I definitely will work on that.
And just a quick question. We're talking about how people are applying for the SBA loan, not the CIA loan.
No, SBA loan, sir.
Okay. And we also have a question.
Is that the PPI?
What did you say, Carol?
Was that the PPP or is that the other one? There's two, I guess, right?
Whoever's qualifying for any of those loans.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who else have a question, please?
I did, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Manager, we spoke. Can you guys hear me, or am I on mute?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did have a discussion regarding that particular idea. I didn't know that the survey was obviously 500 is way too much because we have businesses on 125th that's charging 250 in application. They are being done, I guess, accurately. But the issue, I guess, the question that I have, talking to folks in DC, by next week all the money will be gone, and they either will go to a community bank or the regular bank, which we not. So my question would be, I don't want us to waste the money, although we're saying that we could get it back from, I guess, from reimbursement. I don't know if we're in the position to do that at this particular point. Is there volunteers, or can we support the existing businesses who, who's doing it for the 250, or can we kind of get it at that rate? Because I think 250, there's two businesses I could, I won't name them right now, 125th, that's doing it. Not necessarily accountant, doing it, because, I think the 200 is, 200, 250 is fine, but, going up above that, it's a little bit up the steam. And I don't think they're gonna, honestly, at this particular time, if they haven't filled out the application, I don't think they're gonna get anything right now. I'm just being honest. Just the way the money was drawn the first time, versus now. So, this is it's by Friday. I think it's gonna be all gone. That's just my. I've
heard the council on the pricing wise, and I'll have Linda go back and work on the pricing wise. I did have a lengthy conversation, both Linda and myself, with our lobbyists regarding the money. And what they did, the first thing of money went because people were getting $10, $20 million loans. So it went fast. This second allocation of money has been designated for a lot of the smaller businesses, and they're going through a lot of the credit unions and stuff this time. So it seems like the last loan, if you didn't apply for $2 million, you just were denied. So they did all the $2 million and higher. This second pool of money is for the people come and saying, I need a $50,000 loan to sustain my small business. So they anticipate the money lasting longer. So I definitely will go back and look at the numbers so I do understand. And we will talk to you offline about some of the individuals that working on it already, and look to engage those individuals.
Yes, but the only comment that I want to make, and I don't know who got what information, but speaking to the White House call that they had last week with locally elected officials and others, the folks who and some businesses right there by City Hall, they had applied and they were denied because there was no money. The banks have told them automatically they're already in line because they already applied, so they didn't have to reapply again. So that's why that number they saying is going to go pretty fast, because a lot of the small businesses who did not get it, they'll just they're in line right now to get some of that money if they qualify. I'm not saying I'm against the idea, but right now we just have to be careful with spending from the general fund. I thought this was from the CRA or somewhere we have money, because reimbursement could wait a year or two, and unless we get something you're really sure that you get it from the administration that is coming, I wouldn't so much count on it, us getting it from there, because there's already that conversation going on between cities. So that's why the lower that we go, the better I'll feel comfortable, if they're doing it for 250 and or some folks volunteering. As a matter of fact, there is a group from the county. If maybe we could give them something and they could help out, whatever the case is, to make it go lower. That would be very, very, very good. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much. And Councilwoman Estime?
Thank you. Couple questions for you, City Manager. You said you wanted to service about 50 businesses?
Yes, ma'am. Well, that would be the limit that I would go to. That would be 25. That would be $25,000. But with following with what Councilman DeSome and Councilwoman Key says, we could drop the number from down from 25, and we go back and renegotiate and try to get the number somewhere around $250, $300 for the application, so we can service a few more businesses, or we just lower the dollar amount.
So basically, the $25,000 would be available to any accountant in North Miami that can service residents, business residents, correct?
The $300 would go per business that they help or aid. They're not getting a $25,000 check. No.
No,
we'll
no,
say,
that's not what I asked. My question is, we have you're proposing $25,000 of aid so that accountants can help small businesses. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's only $25,000.
One more time.
And it's $25,000. That's it. That's the cap, right?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm probably not going to be able to have any video, so I'm just doing this all off of audio. Unless I've texted Ricardo, I'm sure he's busy. If somebody can call me on my cell, maybe they can walk me through camera issues I'm having. But my question on this is, Linda, please, if you can, email me the presentation you just made. I missed all of it because of the tech issues that I'm having. So that'll at least give me a chance to ask questions by the end of the meeting if I need.
Okay.
Councilman Galvin, this is Vanessa. Please, if for some reason you do get disconnected, for the sake of quorum, just send me a text message letting me know that you're not on.
Well, okay.
Thank you very much. And a quick question. I have a question for Commander Brinson. I don't know if he left. It's about the testing. You stated that 32,000 people have been tested positive for COVID-19. But Mr. Brinson, what you need to emphasize is but 90% of the testing has been done by private lab, and it take about 2 weeks to get the result. That means that 32,000 miss 2 weeks of private lab. That represents 90% of the total testing, right?
Yes, there are labs all up and down the state of Florida, in addition to hospitals, and now even the private labs like LabCorp, where you go to get your blood testing, where you get your annual physical. All of these labs are all participating now in providing testing. So how it works is on a daily basis, the health department collects this information and they provide a daily number of where we're at. So the number that we have today, the number we have today, it could jump tomorrow because of a bunch of results coming in from different private labs and hospitals from up and down the state.
Yeah, and understand that 90% of those private labs got the result, take about 2 weeks to get the result.
Well, every day that goes by, more and more companies are developing better tests and faster tests. In the beginning, the standard was about 2 weeks, but now more and more tests are coming out where that time is shorter.
Yeah, but that I understand for now, maybe this week, but if you're talking about 2 weeks back, we've been using the same old test.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, each day, all we can do is count what the numbers that the health department is collecting.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And if there's no comments, we're gonna hear a motion on the consent.
Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through E constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion. Open quote, that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A through E be adopted. Close quote.
Thank you very much. Can I get motion on the consent, please?
I'll move.
Is there a second on the consent agenda?
I'll make a second.
Second. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Vice Mayor Jezelman, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I am. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Tab F.
All right, I'm going to read some instructions so everyone understands how they'll be able to participate during public hearing and during citizens forum. So good afternoon, everyone. This is Vanessa Joseph, your elected city clerk. Thank you for attending this afternoon's virtual regular council meeting. This meeting will allow live public comment by attendees. Public hearing will take place upon announcement by the chair of the meeting, Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé. From that time, attendees will be able to virtually raise their hand, and this should function similarly to lining up at the podium. Attendees will have 1 minute from the time of the announcement to raise their hand, and they will be added to the queue. Attendees cannot leave their hand raised throughout the entire meeting, so if you raise your hand before an item is read, it will be removed. Do not forget to state your full name and complete address for the record. And remember, you will have up to 2 minutes to make your comment. Thank you in advance for your understanding and feedback. So tab F, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the evaluation committee selection of Calvin Giordano and Associates, Inc. as the highest ranked firm to provide construction, engineering, and inspection services for the North Miami Downtown Pedestrian Enhancement Project. Further authorizing the interim city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with the selected contractor for the provision of services in an amount not to exceed $184,772.55. In accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in request for qualifications number 27-18-19, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab F.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, at this time, I'm going to call on the Purchasing Director, Alberto De Estrada, to give a presentation on the item between him and our Public Works Department.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. I can't hear you. I see you, but I can't hear you, Alberto.
Alberto, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, council members, and to the listening audience. For the record, Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you is actually the first of 2 companion items that have to do with the proposed downtown pedestrian enhancement project, which will run along Northeast 125th Street between Northeast 6th Avenue and 10th Avenue. The item that you have at hand under tab F is a recommendation for the selection of the engineering firm Calvin Giordano and Associates to serve as construction engineering and inspection, or to provide construction engineering and inspection services for this project. We have a PowerPoint presentation which will give you a background of the project and the scope and the services. Once again, this is a project that's referred to as the Downtown North Miami Pedestrian Enhancement Project. Next slide, Ricardo. Next slide. Next.
Ricardo, next slide.
It's already advanced. It's an introduction. Oh, sorry.
All right, what you have there before you is essentially a background of the project. As you all know, Northeast 125th Street is the main street that runs through the city's downtown area. In addition to being a main street where businesses front and there's pedestrian, bicycle transit, and vehicular traffic is focused, 125th Street is also a major east-west connection that links North Miami to the rest of the region. The Florida Department of Transportation conducted a safety study investigation of the 125th Street roadway segment from 5th Avenue to 7th Avenue. This segment was identified as a high crash location from 2007 up to the time of the study, which was 2013, and was considered within the top 5% segments with the highest crash frequency and severity of crashes in Miami-Dade County. The safety study recommended extending the westbound left turn lane at Northeast 125th Street, Northeast 6th Avenue, and West Dixie Highway intersection. All other recommendations from the safety study were already included in the project development and environment preferred alternative. With this in mind, the city's leadership decided to proceed with the 125th Street roadway improvements project. Once again, that will run between Northeast 6th Avenue and Northeast 10th Avenue with the hope and the purpose to improve the safety, rideability, drainage, and access management of this corridor. The next slide. The local agency program. This project is going to be funded primarily by what's considered or referred to as a LAP program funding. And let me tell you a little bit about the program. Nationwide, approximately 75%, or 2.9 million of the 3.9 million total miles of roadway are owned and operated by local agencies. The local agency program, which is referred to by the acronym LAP, provides sub-recipient towns, cities, and counties an opportunity to develop, design, and construct transportation facilities with the help of federal funds. The state of Florida Department of Transportation is the steward of these federal dollars and is responsible for the oversight of funded projects on behalf of the Federal Highway Administration. LAP agencies prioritize and fund local projects through their respective metropolitan planning organizations or governing boards, and are then eligible for reimbursement for the services provided to the public through compliance with applicable federal statutes, rules, and regulations. In order to qualify for these funds, local agencies must first successfully complete the required certification process. Next slide. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the procurement process for this particular contract. In terms of pre-solicitation activities, the city was able to receive full LAP certification on November 30th, 2018. Following an extensive review and approval of the solicitation documents, the LAP administrators issued a notice to proceed for advertisement of the RFQ on January 29, 2019. Shortly thereafter, the city issued RFQ 271819, which was titled Construction Engineer Inspection Services for the Northeast 125th Street project, which is the item before you under tab F. The solicitation was posted on the city's website and Demand Star and was advertised in Daily Business Review. In response to the solicitation, 8 proposals were submitted and received by the city. Next slide. Proposals were then reviewed for responsiveness in accordance with the requirements of the solicitation and the LAP administrators. One proposal was deemed to be non-responsive due to failure to submit the required documentation required by the solicitation in the LAP program. The remaining 7 proposals were forwarded to an evaluation committee for the review and evaluation. The committee was comprised of knowledgeable city staff. On April 1st, 2019, the committee completed their Tier 1 evaluation of the proposals and shortlisted 3 firms for the second tier of interviews and presentations in accordance with the LAP program procedures. Next slide. Interviews were held on June 5th, 2019, and the evaluation committee deemed or selected Calvin Giordano and Associates as the most qualified, responsive, and responsible firm. And you have the final tally there before you as part of the presentation. These evaluation results were forwarded to the LAP program for their review and approval. Next slide. On June 10th of 2019, the LAP administrators provided the city with approval to proceed with negotiations. The final proposal agreed to by the city and Cabo was subsequently submitted to LAP for their approval. On February 2020 of this year, following review and approval of the city's negotiation process and a final proposal submittal, the LAP program issued the city concurrence. In other words, they approved the award to award the contract to Calvin Giordano and Associates. In terms of funding, of the overall $772.55 cost for this particular contract, up to $80,457 is reimbursable through the LAP grant, and the remaining costs will be funded through the city's transportation surtax fund. Next slide. The following is basically just a summary of the project budget itself and some of the timelines. At top, you'll see that the city engineer is Mr. Atkin Osadin, who will speak right after me. The consultant, again, that is before you is Calvin Giordano and Associates. The contractor who will actually execute the work is Metro Express, which is a companion item that will come immediately after this. The duration time for the project is 275 days. The anticipated start is sometime during the summer of 2020, and the construction budget is $1,020,015.40. Next slide. Now to speak a little bit about the actual scope of the work and community outreach for the project is the project engineer, Mr. Atkin Osadin.
Thank you, Alberto. To the city manager, Atkin Osadin, city engineer. This project is that we got lot funds from the FDOT District 6. This is the project on 125th Street between 6th Avenue and 10th Avenue. It was a lengthy process, and we go through the lot funds, and that certification took us about a year, because what happened was we had to have the ADA transition plan, thanks to our city manager, that we got it within 2 months. And if DOT offer us to give us the certification for whole project, it means that we are not only certified this project, near future we can apply different grants under this certification. So, but when it comes to the scope of work, we have milling and resurfacing of the roadway, construction of the new bulbouts, median installation, signal loop replacement, ADA sidewalk access improvements, access management improvements, especially 9th Avenue, drainage improvements, new curb and gutter system, utility valve and adjustment relocation, that's part of the roadway resurfacing, signing and pavement marking improvements. Next slide, please. And this project reflects the desires of the business owners, property owners, and elected officials. Actually, the primary goal is to create walkable downtown where the visitors can spend time in our downtown area, especially between 6th and 10th Avenue. We try to make it designed for pedestrians, not so much for vehicles. So the theme is to add shade trees, provide transit options, and slow the vehicles down. And visitor can visit our downtown, visit as a downtown. The city's community planning department and city CRA have held multiple public meetings as the part of their process to create downtown plans and fund to implement these plans. Some of the plans that we have is North Miami Comprehensive Plan, North Miami CRA the redevelopment plan, Downtown Master Plan, Downtown Action Plan, and Downtown Parking Study. Next slide, please. We have multiple meetings, many meetings with the business owners, residents, and of course that most of it that council join us. First one was Saviano Miller presentation to council in September 23rd, 2010. The second one was in downtown improvements that was in 2011, and we have the downtown forum in 2014. We have DPAC meetings in 2015, 2018, and again another presentation to DPAC 2018. That's a downtown and downtown planning organization. And finally, we have the public hearing and presentation to general public and business owners. That was in February 21st, 2019. And that meeting, that public came up with the parking options and the planning options, and they give us a lot of information what they want, and we adjust the plans, reapply to the FDOT, and get it approved, because we had about 227 comments. Every time that we go through back and forth, finally we got it approved, and we got what we wanted. So I'm going to turn it over to Mohammed Brook. He's the CEI's construction director for residential development. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and respected council members. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Moma Brook. I'm the director of CEI with Kelvin Giordano and Associates. CGA is a multidisciplinary engineering firm. We were established in 1937. We've been in the industry for 80 plus years. We have over 2,000 employees in 22 different states. In the state of Florida, we have 370 employees, and we service more than 60 different municipalities and state agencies and private owners. We pretty much, you're one-stop shop. We do everything from CEI, which is construction engineering and inspection, to roadway design, to transportation planning, traffic engineering, surveying, landscape inspections. We all handle all that in-house. Our main office in Miami is located on 110th Street and US 1. We're about 15 blocks away from the project site. So I'm right next to you right now, like 5 minutes away. So that access to the project and being very close will help us whenever we run into issues during construction. We'll have the access to all different engineering professionals to problems and issues as well. Next slide. Some of the major specific challenges on this project, obviously one of the more critical challenges will be ensuring that we follow the CDC requirements specific to social distancing, county and the city's requirements as well. We got to make sure all construction workers and our inspectors as well are practicing social distancing and wearing their face masks to ensure that everybody is safe. We also need to make sure we coordinate with the business owners in business access at all time. I understand right now businesses are closed, but eventually, hopefully they're all going to be opening very soon here. So maintaining the business access, maintaining pedestrian access is going to be key. We're going to work with the contractor to implement a detour plan for pedestrians. That we're only working on one side of the sidewalk, not closing both sides at the same time. And business owners as well. County coordination is going to be important for bus routes in the case where we have, or in some cases, total closures when we're doing milling intersurfacing at night, which is anticipated. Coordination with the schools when they come back, hopefully this fall, and the museums within the project limits as well, just to make sure that we're letting them know about our closures, so then the parents dropping off kids and picking them up are aware of the closures and are anticipating potential delays. Control during construction, being in the backyards of all these businesses is going to be key. We're going to make sure the contractor is watering down his construction operation when he's doing demo, especially in the shoulders. very close to the businesses on both sides of the roadway. The emergency responders and the city staff during construction, so we can provide them access during emergencies. And trash delivery service must be continued also during construction. We'll have to speak to them and make sure that they are aware of our closures and provide them access in some cases so they can deliver, an email to the businesses and such. Also, something that's important is the bulb-out construction. In some cases, part of the enhancement for pedestrian access on this project and to enhance the safety of the project, we're constructing bulb-outs in some of the parking spots. Very few parking spots on the north side of the project will have to be eliminated to ensure that we enhance the safety of the project. So coordinating that during construction is going to be critical. Letting know the business owners what's actually going to take place is going to be critical. Also, removal of privately owned business items from the right-of-way. We've noticed that some businesses, in some cases, they have like little chairs and pulls outside their business on the sidewalk, blocking the sidewalk. So coordinating that construction, if we can remove it, it's important as well, specifically on the north side of the roadway. Ensuring that our subcontractors are FDOT approved, that's very critical for the lab requirements. And speaking of lab, some of the specific challenges that we'll be dealing with on the next slide, please, to ensure that we meet the lab requirements and ensure that the city gets reimbursed for the construction costs and for the CEI cost. Ensure adherence to specific lab requirements, including monitoring and logging daily activities with associated pictures, truck tickets, materials verifications. EO compliance, conducting all inspections, interviews, and reports required in the field. That includes some specialized reports that DOT requires, the state requires, like the CUF reports for disadvantaged businesses, labor interviews monthly, checking the bulletin boards, and submitting the monthly bulletin board inspection report, reviewing certified payrolls, and verifying all subcontractors are approved to work on this project and state approved, DOT approved. Also, ensuring FHWA 1273 agreements and Davis-Bacon Act requirements are met. Sublets and Schedule A's for the subcontractors to ensure compliance with DOT requirements. Also, got to make sure that we're submitting our contractors' monthly reports in compliance with the contractor plan certifications on a monthly basis. Adhering to Buy America compliance, which is basically a requirement for steel. That all the steel incorporated in the job must be made in the USA. That's a very important requirement. Sometimes it's overlooked, but that's something that we'll make sure that we get certifications from the manufacturers to make sure that that is the case. Also, uploading project documents in the DOT website, the LABIT uploads, and other items related to the administration of the project, like review and change orders and R5 reviews, ensuring proper documentation of the project overall, and ensuring materials sampling and testing is performed by the QC, quality control, and the verification control labs. This concludes my section of the presentation. If you guys have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public before we get questions from
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, before we move forward, a couple things that I discussed with the staff prior to the meeting. I know many of you will recall we've been talking about this project and slowing down traffic on 125th Street for years. So this is the project that was put in place to do that. It's finally come to fruition. What wasn't shown is going to be 2 medians installed between 6th and 10th Avenue on 125th Street. So there'll be 2 medians in the middle of the street with vegetation inside of them. There'll be crosswalks on 8th, 9th, and 10th Avenue as well. And again, they did talk about the repaving from 6th to 10th Avenue. And it's a 272-day construction project, approximately 8 to 9 months it's going to take for this to happen. I did talk to the staff about traffic and
it's going to come on tab G, no?
No, I think we're only doing the one presentation. Maybe they are, but also we lose. I just wanted to be on the record. We're going to lose about 40 parking spaces on the street, and that's necessary for the bulb out. So we are going to be losing 40 parking spaces on the street. However, that's gonna help with the slowing of traffic on 125th Street. So I just wanted to make sure that was on the record that you guys did hear that part of it. Was just some questions I asked of the staff when I did review the item during our briefings when I worked with the staff. So with that said, I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor, to start public hearing.
Thank you very much. And Madam Clerk, do we have the City Clerk?
Here.
Yes. Do you have public comments on the item?
Yes, I do. I have some that were submitted in advance of the meeting. Given the fact that the tabs F and G are companion items, some of them, I will actually be reading all 5 of these comments.
For both, you can, for both, then we don't have to back on.
Sarah McDevitt, 14490 Northeast 10th Avenue, North Miami, Florida 33161. Tab F, open parentheses, yes to the firm. Please proceed with the project, exclamation mark, close parentheses. Tab G, I would like to support approval of this project, exclamation mark. As a member of DAPAC, I can attest that outreach to local businesses received overwhelming support, and the DAPAC position was that these improvements to the 125th Street corridor are vital to creating a downtown area that is walkable, safe, appealing to a variety of businesses, and inviting to consumers. Max Sturman, 12302 Northeast 6th Avenue, North Miami, Florida 33161. As a property owner in North Miami and as a voting member of the DAPAC, I fully support the agenda item number 5.98 tabs F and G in moving forward with the 125th Street Pedestrian Improvements Project. Please feel free to contact me with any questions or comments. Geo Darter, president of Copper Bridge Foundation. He did not include his address for the record. As a property and business owner of North Miami and as a voting member of the DAPAC, support the agenda item number 5.9.8, tabs F and G, in moving forward with the 125th Pedestrian Improvement Plan. Sebastian James Semla, 822 Northeast 125th Street, Suite number 100, North Miami, Florida 33161. I'm Sebastian A. Semla, Vice Chair of the DAPAC, am in favor of the agenda item 5.9A, moving forward with the pedestrian improvement plan. David Burney, Vice Chair, Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce, 13100 West Dixie Highway, North Miami, Florida 33161. DAPAC Board Member, Police Athletic League of North Miami President. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I support tab F and G, 125th Street Pedestrian Improvement. And that is all we have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. And now, do we have any people on the line?
Mr. Mayor, there are no hands raised right now.
Thank you very much. Now let's close public hearing. And now, a member of the council who want to speak on the item, tab F. Councilwoman Carol Keys.
Unmute your phone.
Maybe remove it on mute.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, simultaneously with this, I've been working with DAPAC and staff, and we started an enhancement of the alley just north of 25th Street from about 7th Avenue, Northeast 7th to about Northeast 9th, which included fixing, paving the alleys, allowing businesses to have their entrances on the alley, and also enhancing the parking lot, lighting and additional things to go through Liberty Gardens. And one of the reasons we were working on that is because we're going to eliminate the parking spaces. So I would like to know what the status of that project is, Mr. Manager, and make sure that it is moving forward.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman. I got distracted for a second. Which project? I'm sorry.
You were not
with
DAPAC and with former manager and our public works director. We were working, getting prices to enhance, repave the alley north of 120th Street between Northeast 7th Avenue, Liberty Gardens to 9th Avenue, and in the parking lot back here. We were going to have that repaved, re-landscaped, new lighting, to give us more access to the businesses, giving grants to the backs of the businesses, which I think already started, to allow them to clean up the back of the business so people could enter from the alleyway, and even have outdoor dining, outdoor entrances like Luna Star, and we had a few other restaurants that were doing that. And we have that Liberty Gardens walkthrough, so we want to make that very amenable to walking from the parking lot in the back through the Liberty Gardens to our municipal area. So that's something we're working on. I think it might have gotten stalled, but I think it's really important if we're going to lose parking spaces. So if you would please get with Whistler and find out the status and what we're, what's going on.
No problem. I'll take care of that.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes, Councilman Galvin, then Vice Mayor Desulme.
Thanks. I just unmuted myself. Is this considered to be an FDOT project with help from the city, or is the city going to oversee the day-to-day work?
Akin?
City Manager.
Go ahead, Akin.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is the city's project that we are going to oversee with the CEI and the Metro Construction, and the LAP, basically FDOT, is going to check on us, make sure that we are complying with their requirements. Total project is, we are going to get $771,000 about grant for this project, but the rest of it, about, total is $1.2 million. The rest of it is the city funds, but mainly there are a lot of requirements, but that's the city's project. We got the grants from FDOT.
Okay, so the city's part of the cost is approximately $500,000, and the FDOT grant cost is approximately $700,000.
770, yeah.
When
all coming out of transportation funds, sir. Transportation funds.
Yeah.
City.
When residents get angry about the construction and everything else, who will they call?
They call me. I am the main contact because in the FDOT's eyes, I am the responsible charge. So everything follow me, but I follow up with CEI, Calvin, Giordano. They're supposed to be following every resident, make sure that they are happy, make sure that they close one lane at a time. And if we need to close for the roadway, it's going to be a nighttime, that type of thing, that I'm going to make sure that working with an FDOT as well as CEI. But I'm the main contact and responsible charge.
Are we doing any type of removal of that nice decorative sidewalk that we have in the area?
I don't think that we are involving in removing any decorative sidewalk. The only thing that we're gonna do improving is 8, 9, and 10 crosswalks.
I do have a concern with making sure some of the businesses that are in that stretch are open at night and rely mainly on nighttime business, while others are daytime. It would be great, in my opinion, if you could coordinate with those that are going to be open at day and night. You're not blocking the restaurants at nighttime, if possible.
Absolutely, Councilman.
Idea about the rear dining areas.
Absolutely.
And my last question, Mr. Mayor, has to do with sewers. While we're doing all of this digging up of streets, are we going to be eyeballing any of the sewer stuff below it and replacing as needed? Are we prepared in case we, pull up some of the street and find out there's rotting pipes underneath? Do we know how we're going to handle that?
Councilman Galvin, what happened is that this is the bulb outs and also the resurfacing. We are not digging up where the sewer line is, but if I'm going to check that if we have any sewer issues, that usually they give us the green light to replace those lines. So I haven't gotten any complaints from the Public Works Department saying that there is sewer issues at that area. So normally that creates the project. So I do believe that the sewer is safe in that area.
Well, it's all very old, and we know that these things pop up randomly. So I just want us to have a mind to think about that, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, and Vice Mayor Desulme, then Councilwoman Marie-Estime Irvin.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. My questions are real quick. In reference to the parking space, the 40 that's supposed to be eliminated, exactly the scope, because I thought I was with Councilman Galvin that we were going to replace some sidewalk in order to, I guess, work with traffic, et cetera, et cetera. So my first question is, so what would be the broad scope? We're only doing the crosswalk between 6th, 7th, 9th, and 10th. And then the follow-up question would be, well, answer that, and then I'll ask Mr. Manager regarding the other funding. Akin, can you?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes.
What happened is total right now 108 parking spaces, and we brought that issue to our public, our business owners, our residents. We were lowering it to 50, and the other option was keep it about 65 parking spaces, and our business owners and residents overwhelmingly choose the 65 option. Yes, we're losing 40 spaces, but that's the best that we did. So 108 as of now, it's going to be about 65 parking spaces. And the crosswalks are going to be 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, my question, what is it that you're doing? Are you doing cosmetic stuff in the parking spaces there? I'm saying, what's the visual for the $1 million?
Yes, the bull box is going to show some plants, some shade trees, and also be putting those plants in the median. So it's a human psychology. When you're driving there, you're going to see a median with the plants, and the plants on the other side. You slow down and look at the downtown, and you feel like you are in downtown. That's what we call.
I see. So you are adding a median to enhance the cosmetics, et cetera, in addition to putting some trees in those parking spaces. Okay, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Mr. Manager, so the money that's coming from the transportation budget, how much do we have in there, or what was budgeted in there? And just to verify, this is not general fund.
Yes, definitely not general fund. As Akin said, about 770,000 is grant funding. About 500,000 coming from transportation funding. Atkins, if I'm correct, can we still get reimbursed for a portion of that $500,000?
Because of the LAP only gives us $771,000, but what happened is that we are getting funds for example, Arch Creek project, that we're getting $600,000. So we are not using all of it. For example, we are building 2 traffic circles, and as we speak, and Arch Creek is paid itself. So, but this project is only LAP certified, so we can only get LAP funds. But we are certified for 3 years. We can get more projects if we are successful, and I believe that we will be.
Mr. Manager, my question is, how much do we have budgeted in the transportation as of now?
I will get, I don't know if Ms. Ross, can you answer that question off the top of your head for the transportation funding?
I'll check right now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ross. My next question, Mr. Manager. So just so we know, and just to clarify, are we applying for the grant, or are we getting the grant, or is it a grant, or is it a?
We have the money already.
I'm sorry, sir?
We have the grant already, sir.
Okay, because somebody was asking about transportation. So we do have the 771.
Yes, we have the grant already, sir.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
We'll get the grant is a reimbursable grant. So as we spend the money, we submit our expenses, and then we get reimbursed. That's the LAP grant. And typically that's how all our grants work. We have to spend the money first, and then we get reimbursed with the funds.
Okay. Well, okay, got it. And that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Estimé Irvin.
Thank you so much. Actually, my question was going to be the very same one that you asked, Vice Mayor. I wanted to know how much money do we actually have in the city's half cents transportation. So I guess I'm waiting on our budget director to come and give us how much money we have actually right now.
So we're talking about Fund 185, correct? I'm checking now. Have to.
Well, while she's looking at that, I just wanted to make sure for CEI, the consultant, I know that they're saying that they're going to be following all of the CDC social distancing. Just want to make sure that they're also going to be taking temperatures of employees while they go to work or come to work. Is that a part of the social distancing or the CDC recommendation that is going to?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the second part of the question. My apologies.
Oh, I noticed in your presentation you mentioned that you're going to be following the regulations for CDC in terms of social distancing, and I just wanted to make sure that it also including checking the employee's temperature.
So what we were going to be implementing, and that's, by the way, not just for the consultant but also the contractor, because he's also required to follow those requirements as well, is ensuring social distances are practiced, wearing masks, using gloves, things of that nature. As far as checking temperatures, that's not something that we were implementing, but that's definitely something we can discuss with the city and the contractor and come up with a protocol for.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman, Councilman
what I was gonna say, that 700, that money that we received, we voted to allow the city to apply for the grant, and the grant is being rewarded. That's when it's not new. We pass a resolution and allow the city to apply for that 700 matching grant, and it's stated in the budget that the money was the matching was coming from the transportation fund. That's when it's something that we voted before, then we were rewarded. It's not the new.
Absolutely, sir. And the budgeted amount for this fiscal year, the amount that was budgeted for this project was approximately $1.3 million.
So my question is, I understand what you're telling me, it was budgeted. What I'm specifically asking is, how much is in there as we speak? Is it
The
one?
balance, you want the balance in the transportation fund. The balance right now, as of today, is $1,749,000.
$1,749,000?
Correct.
Okay. Have we spent all of it? Well, that's okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just for clarification, no, I do know, but I just wanted to make sure that we, there's plenty of time that we apply for stuff. We certainly don't follow that rule. So I just want to make sure, that we were, whatever that we applied for, we said we're gonna spend. I'm glad that we got it, and this is something. And the manager explained what the reimbursement portion came from, that we'll be spending in the next thing for reimbursement based on the 770. But that was it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If there is no more question, can I have a motion to approve item tab F?
So move.
Second.
Second. And, okay. Madam Clerk?
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab F. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Tab G is the same thing that we just had the presentation. That part is about the resurfacing of the same project, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't think we need any presentation. Madam Clerk, do we have any comment for that particular one besides the one you read before?
They will be added to the record as reflective of what was said for tabs F and G. So what was already read onto the record applied to tab G as well. But I'm going to go ahead and read this for the record. Tab G, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the city administration's competitive selection of Metro Express, Inc. as the lowest responsible contractor to perform the downtown North Miami pedestrian enhancement project in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in invitation for bids number 52-18-19. Further authorizing the interim city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement for the provision of services for an amount not to exceed $1,020,015.40, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab G.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone wishes to speak on the item from the public?
Give me 1 second to check that. At this moment, we do not have any hands raised on that particular item.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Any member of the council, if we have any comments or questions? Yes, Madam.
Is Metro Express available?
What happened?
The company that's being awarded, Metro Express Inc., are they available?
There should be a
City manager.
Yeah, there should be a representative that's available online.
Yes,
I believe the gentleman's there online.
yes, I'm here and available. Freddy Naranjo with Metro Express.
Okay, would you just share quickly, just tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing?
Okay, we're going to be executing the construction as per plans and implementing all the safety measures and healthy measures according with the city recommendation and CDC recommendations.
Okay, will you be, in terms of employees, will you be hiring anyone locally or making any efforts on that, or?
Of course, we will the work is specialized, but we will be more than glad to to hire someone from the community. We've done it before. Do you have a we can work with the city and with the city engineer to see if you have any list of competing subs that we can use for the project.
Okay, I just, anytime that anyone comes, personally, I'm speaking for myself, anytime anyone is coming to our city, I just want to make sure that there's an opportunity for, our residents who here to, if there's an opportunity for employment, that they have that opportunity. So I just want to make sure
Yes, there are opportunities.
There are any other, subcontractors that can be used in your project as well.
Say that again?
Or any other small business that can work along with you as well, if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, we open to work with the locals and open to employment opportunities.
Thank you very much. And they're the one who've been doing resurfacing for the city for a few years, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You're correct.
Yes, sir. Metro Express is a company we've used often. They're one of the leading companies in street resurfacing.
They're the one who just done that project in District 3, the resurfacing of those streets, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay.
And also Tressler Street.
Do we have any other questions from member of the council? No? Can I hear a motion on the item, please?
So moved.
Okay.
Would someone like to second that? I had two motions.
Carol and
I'll
Scott.
second it.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab H, proposed ordinance, second reading of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, providing for a text amendment to chapter 29 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances by amending Article 4, Division 2, entitled Zoning Districts, specifically at section 4-202, entitled Types of Uses. Article 5, Division 17, entitled Storage Facilities, specifically at section 5-1702, entitled Self-Storage Facilities, and Division 22, entitled Distance Limitation for Certain Uses, specifically at sections 5-2201 and 5-2202, and a new section 5-2205 entitled Location and Distance Restriction for Self-Storage Facilities, to establish locational standards, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, correction of Scrivener's errors, codification, and for an effective date. Tab H.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And do you have any presentation before I open it to the public?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. It's Tanya Wilson, Director for Community Planning and Development.
Go ahead.
All right, it should be on the screen now. Ricardo, if you could bring up the PowerPoint. This is second reading for a text amendment to the land development regulations. The first reading was heard back in February. This is a request sponsored by Councilwoman Irving.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Perfect. So this is a request sponsored by Councilwoman Mary Irving. It's seeking to amend the land development regulations to create a distance separation. So those amendments would be in section 4-202, as well as section 5-1702, as well as 5-2201 of the land development regulations. If approved, it would allow for a 500 feet distance separation between self-storage facilities and the single-family districts. For those that are viewing it on the screen at home, that's everywhere that it's yellow on the map that we've provided. The circles that you'll see on the screen are the current locations of self-storage facilities that are already constructed within the city. In terms of the prohibition, one of the requests that was made by mayor and council is that we include language in the land development regulations to prohibit those storage facilities on what we call prime lands. So we've defined the prime lands as your major commercial corridor, areas that have already been zoned planned corridor development. So you'll see the PCDs up and down 7th Avenue. You'll see the PCD areas on Dixie. You'll see it on Biscayne Boulevard, as well as 125th Street and some areas of 6th Avenue. If that prohibition is approved, then what it means is that no self-storage facility going forward can be created along those corridors if they're within 500 feet of a single family district. We're also proposing that there be a minimum lot size, that the lot area be no smaller than 1 acre in size if it's going to be considered. Next slide, please, Ricardo. So once approved, it would be effective as of May 8th, and that's 10 days after the actual adoption of this ordinance. I also want to point out that besides the existing structures that you saw on the previous map, we've had at least 4 storage facilities that have been approved. Some of them are in permitting, some have already been constructed within the city within the last 2 years. So I think just in terms of the abundance within the market right now, there were some concerns raised by Councilman Irving and other members of the public regarding the saturation of storage facilities that the city is now seeing over the last couple of years. So we're bringing this to the council for consideration. And as I said, this is second reading. If the council has any questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Do we have any comments from the public?
We do not have any previously submitted public comments, and I will check now to see if anyone's hand is raised with respect to this particular item. And I do not have any hands raised.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's close public hearing. Let's open it to the council. Any question? Councilwoman Keys.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, to Tanya. Have you drawn any kind of map showing where in the future a self-storage could possibly go?
So because, if Ricardo, go back to the previous screens, looking at the map that we provided.
1 second.
Yeah, if you could repost the PowerPoint, because what we did was to create a simulation based on what's currently there. You will see that we drew circles around, and those circles represent 500 from the existing. Yeah, so that gives you an idea in terms of the width of that 500 feet radius. So if you can imagine looking up and down the major corridors of the city, if you take that distance of that 500 feet radius, there's really nowhere along those commercial corridors that you can put additional self-storage facilities, because they'll all be within that distance of the single family district. So pretty much the way that the built environment is right now is what we have. And if you approve this today, then you wouldn't have additional self-storage facilities coming with it.
Right. So basically, you've got a lot of different, requirements. Oh, you can't have it more than 1 acre, which is a really large piece of property for self-storage. You say you can't have it on the corridors, but basically you really can't have it anywhere else in the city. So you've just eliminated self-storage in our city, which I think personally is a bad piece of legislation, just getting rid of a use that if you're looking to build, you're looking to go urban, you're looking to go high dense. We have 500 square foot apartment units. We're looking possibly in the future at micro at 350. People will have no room for their self-storage. So for the few self-storage, that's it. There'll be no future use for people to store their stuff. So I just think it's a bad use. We're just picking and choosing uses we don't want. And I personally don't see there's something really awful with self-storage, especially if you would give them some design, zoning, landscaping type requirements. it's really not a bad use, but what we've done here today, as you said, no more self-storage, so I'm not in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other questions? I see none. Can I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve the item at tab H. Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys, how do you vote?
No.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desame, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
The item passes with a 4-1 vote.
Thank you very much. And now, citizen forum. Madam Clerk, do you have any?
Yes, I do. Give me 1 second.
Yes. Okay.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard, North Miami, Florida, 33161. On February 20th, 2020, I submitted a request for public information. It was FOIA request number 3875. I asked for a copy of the amount of tickets sold, the amount of the ticket sale price received, and a total sum of incoming revenue from the ticket sales from Super Bowl weekend at NOMI Red Garden. I would like a copy of any invoices from sponsors who contributed to the event and the amount of contribution or type of contribution. It's now been over 2 months and I have not received the information. Several other citizens have also requested financial information regarding the Super Bowl party at Red Garden. Why has this information not been forthcoming from the City of North Miami administration? When can we expect to hear a synopsis of the financials associated with the Red Garden and Super Bowl weekend as we were promised many weeks ago? Does the city administration intend to give the requested information to residents in compliance with the state of Florida statutes regarding public information? Thank you. Laura Hill. Sarah McDevitt, 14490 Northeast 10th Avenue, North Miami, Florida, 33161. Many cities around the U.S. are closing down streets to auto traffic, opening the space for pedestrians and cyclists. This has been a wonderful way to open up public space to residents while still giving them room to maintain social distancing. The roadways can be shut down 24/7 or for only certain times of the day and week. Here in Miami, the idea is being promoted at the county level by the Transit Alliance. She also includes links to or more information about these proposals, and so one of them is Transit Alliance Miami, Coronavirus and Mobility, Oakland Slow Streets, resources on where this idea is being implemented nationally, in addition to cities close streets to cars, opening space for social distancing in Boston, Minneapolis, and Oakland. That is all, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Do you have anyone in the public? No.
And give me 1 second to review this list to make sure we don't have any here. We do not have any hands raised.
Thank you very much. Council reports.
Okay, council report.
Council report.
Yeah, I would like one.
Yes, go ahead, Council.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to mention that last week we celebrated Earth Day, Earth Week. It was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and I wanted to thank our Tanya Wilson, Director of our Community Planning and Development, and also Amanda Murray, North Miami Sustainability Administrator, for their support in helping us celebrate our Green Awareness event, even though it was our first digital event. Also, we rolled out the Citizens Guide to Sustainability and Resiliency which I sponsored and very excited to do that. And I wanted to thank Brazada's team for creating this thorough guide for citizens to take action and challenge themselves to make our city world more sustainable and resilient. This guide is not just going to be for the city of North Miami, and I would invite all of you out there to please share this guide with your friends and neighbors, as our environment really doesn't have any borders. Fabulous guide, and for all of those who were not on our webinar last week, you can find this guide digitally on the Community Planning and Development's website under Sustainability. It's really a great guide, and I'm hoping this will find its way throughout our country and globally. And the other thing, just want to mention, as everybody is aware, I think everybody's aware, tomorrow, Dade County is getting ready to open in 3 phases, the parks, marinas, golf clubs, even piers. There's a lot of rules and guidelines that go with that. And with that, it's going to come a great deal of enforcement. I understand that they will be hiring close to like 800 or 900 security guards just to enforce opening these parks. So I know our manager has the authority, but council will have to think about it and see. I've already got people who want their tennis courts open. Tennis courts in the county are still limited to singles. Basketball courts are limited to, I think, either 2 or 3 per half court. So it's coming, and I think we need to get a discussion going as to when and how much of our parks do we want to open and how we're going to enforce it. So just want to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next? Go ahead.
Yes, Ms. Mayor, I think I was next. If anyone else didn't want to go, Councilwoman Keys just mentioned something very important because I wanted to touch on that. So, Mr. Manager, I do want to know your decision in reference to the opening of parks, and I just want to caution if we could do it in phases, because I know we had different issues containing to the Northwest 7th Avenue businesses versus the other business that was actually doing it right around the city. So we do have to keep that in mind. And the county is doing what they needed to do in terms of the security, the folks, to make sure social distancing is going to happen. I know for one thing, we're not going to do that here. So we cannot even pretend that this is something that we're going to do. And I do agree with Councilwoman Keys. If we are thinking about doing this, we need to really think about what are we going to do to enforce it, because I don't think it could happen overnight. And what can we do to make this serious? 81 people, the highest single day of death did occur here in North Miami, not in North Miami, in the state today. So I know everybody want to get out. We want to get out as well. But we just have to make sure that we do it responsibly. In reference to I think Ms. Hills, Laura Hill made a into the public record in terms of public comment, the public record request that she made. I also asked, and I didn't really officially made one in reference to some of those questions. So I do want her to know that as an elected official, did make similar requests, and I haven't gotten anything. So perhaps I'm assuming it's the COVID era that kind of probably slow down things a little bit, but we do need to, since we are not getting back to normalcy, having meetings and all that. With that being said, also we need to, are we going to, because of COVID, are we suspending the city manager's search? We need to have that discussion around that as well. If we are going to suspend it, what are we doing, Mr. Mayor, or guidance from the council? But all of these things, now that we are getting back to normal. We need to have those discussions. And those are my few comments.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Leslie Mervin. You raise your hand.
Yes, thank you so much. Just wanted to publicly thank State Representative Dottie Joseph, Mayor Carlos Jimenez, Commissioner Monestein for the testing site that is at Holy Family. Also wanted to thank Father Fritz Belons for opening up Holy Family for the testing site. It is the very first in the county where it's actually a walk-up site. However, you still have to have an appointment. For those that are interested or that feel the symptoms and want to, it's right here in North Miami, and you can call 305-499-8767. Again, the number is 305-499-8767. Also, talking about testing and COVID-19, we lost a very a dear person to us in the community, especially the Haitian community, Joshua Clevalus from Island TV. My condolences to the family.
Jose.
Pevelis, that's what I said. Jose Pevelis.
Yeah, go ahead, but that's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking in English. Josue Pevelis, and Joshua is the translation in English, I guess.
Jose.
Yeah, Josue. Sorry.
Again, my condolences to his family and friends. Also, talk about death, but now I want to talk about celebration. I want to shout out a special happy birthday to my mother, Simone Bruno Estime, on this day. Happy birthday, Mommy. I love you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilman Gavin.
Yes, I'd start by offering another note of sympathy to the family of Councilman Tony Caserta, who was on the city council in the late 1990s. He passed away about a week ago. I don't know anything more about cause of death or anything like that. They probably won't be having any type of service until we're through the coronavirus. But Tony served this city well. His younger brother David was also a city councilman before him, and we send our sympathies to the Caserta family. I know that the manager is about to give a report. I would hope that he would address the Nomi Red Garden report, how he plans to handle that, as well as how he plans to handle the opening of parks. I know that the county is sort of going full throttle. If we're going to go full throttle, we have to be ready to pay for security like they've paid for. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on the parks and Red Garden.
And thank you very much. Before we move with city manager, do you have an answer?
Yes, sir. As far as in respect to the Red Garden, we've worked on a report. We've had challenges with Mr. Campbell. I did have the attorney send them a letter, a demand letter, for us to meet and go over the day that he did perform, his day at the Red Garden. So we had that. The attorney has sent something to him, a demand letter for them to come forward. I know he was dealing with issues with the COVID as well. Right after, I think there was a couple cases that they say they think happened at the Red Garden that during the Super Bowl time. So we're waiting for him. So we will be we're working on getting that report together. I can send a complete report, but I know that would be frowned upon by many people without the report being complete. So we are working on that and trying to get it wrap up with Mr. Campbell. As far as the parks opening up, I've spoken to all of you in regards to the parks and gotten everyone's input. I think everyone has the feeling that it might be problematic for us. What I am recommending and what I plan on doing is leaving our parks closed at least for another week and kind of monitor some of the challenges that happen at the county and see what happens with them when they open up. I think instead of us wasting money, we can sit back and watch them for a week and see what happens again. And also with our testing site just opening up as well in our city, I think after a week we should get a kind of an idea of what our community is looking like and see if our numbers are greater and know what our challenges are here as well. So I'm not looking to open the parks immediately. I want to evaluate it for another week. We have begun working in-house on an reopening plan, and I know I've mentioned that to you guys. So the reopening plan we're working on should be, I'm expecting my staff to have it to me by Friday, and we'll go into different phases as well on how we reopen North Miami. We are continuing with the social distancing and individuals working from home as far as the staff, and we'll monitor. I think it's, well, I'm not paid to think about what the government says, but we're going to continue monitoring and watch what's happening in North Miami. But we're not going to be opening the parks back up. We're going to give it a week and monitor and see what's going to happen. Another thing, can I continue, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was the utility assistance program that we spoke on at the last meeting. I've been speaking to everyone. We're working on it, and right now we have the form done. We're going to use the same. It's going to go through our regular utility assistance program, but we're still working on how we're going to do the intake. And the intake is going to be combined with something from social services, where an individual is given a voucher to present to the utility department. So we're still working on that. I do believe that will be done by next council meeting, and we'll bring it for resolution at the next council meeting to move forward on that. That being said, that is it for my report, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to, of course, extend condolences to all of those who have suffered loss, and I think that Mr. Clevalu's affected me personally. And I think it's important that we all continue to take all the necessary precautions to ensure that we do not fall victim to this disease that is really taking us over. Regardless of what is to happen, whether we reopen and how quickly we do so, please continue to take the measures necessary to protect yourselves, your families, and of course your communities. Last week was Administrative Professionals Day, and that has a definition, and we celebrated it at the city clerk's office in a very small way. But I just want to thank the entire city staff, including the city clerk's office, for the efforts that they have been putting forward to address the needs of our residents in this time. It's extremely important that we express gratitude as much as possible, because that helps us get through the tough times sometimes. And in addition to that, Mayor, I'm not sure if you're going to give a report, but I think it'd be good to remind folks of the food distribution that is happening on Saturday. And for those of you who have animals and you need assistance in providing food to your pets, on Thursday, April 30th, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. or while supplies last, the Pet Adoption and Protection Center in Doral will be having a drive-through food bank for pets. So that they're located at 3599 Northwest 79th Avenue, Doral, Florida 33122. And you can also check more out through the ASPCA and of course the Miami-Dade County Animal Services Department. And I believe that is all.
Mr. Mayor, if I may add one thing. When we talked, I worked with staff and the police chief. We did agree that what we will be doing, we will follow Miami-Dade County with opening our marinas tomorrow. So our marinas, we will open up. That's the only part of the only thing that we will be reopening at this moment is our two marinas.
About the boat rents. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Question, Mayor?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Vice
Go
Mayor.
ahead,
Go
Scott. Go ahead. Go ahead,
What
Councilman.
What did you say you were going to open up?
The marinas, the two marinas.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Mr. Manager, just as the county is ensuring that social distancing is working by employing extra folks, since we following the county lead, are we going to do that to ensure not necessarily the police, because Lord knows we need them out there, but are we going to make sure that somebody is out there, one or two people at least pretending to know that we it's not a problem over here. And just to say a comment in regards to one of your report that you mentioned, you said something about COVID-19 for the Super Bowl. I thought that's what I heard.
Yes, I said that I was speaking of Luther Campbell being sick. He was sick earlier, but they said it happened around the Super Bowl time. And another one of the artists that performed there believes he got it when he was in Miami as well.
There's no way in America, based on the recommendation from the World Health or CDC, that they would have known. I mean, a lot of people got sick. I had worse allergies in December. Some of us. There's no way, because testing did not start until middle of March. So by January, the end of January, February, we had so many different activities. It's around in the garden. That's that weekend when they shot Miami, which was in March. So for them to acclaim that, I mean, I think even the president would have to disagree. There's no way, and I'm not saying that it's not, but there was not even no testing. So for them to even talk about COVID, we heard there was something in Washington, but we was not paying attention, or no testing, no nothing. And even if there were, I don't think 14 days before having symptoms, if they had symptoms in the prior to then, that's just everybody else who did in North Miami. But in reference to that, Mr. Manager, you mentioned something that I wanted to make sure. In reference to the park, I think Councilwoman Keys made a comment, which I think a lot of us agree. We either need to have like some type of town hall. We cannot just follow what the county does, because they have different, some commissioners may agree with the mayor. It's a whole different thing that's going on. The leadership that city of Miami's doing, we got to worry about our residents. We have challenges that the county does not have overall, or they really care about the challenges like cities like us have. So we need to make sure, like, we talk about it, we know what because we're gonna have to open up.
Vice Mayor, that's what we just said. We say that we're not gonna follow the lead of the county.
No, Mr. Mayor,
the week.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not what.
So the only thing he stated is about the marina that's gonna be open.
No. I heard him, Mr. Mayor. I heard he said that a week. I just disagree, even with us not having a plan, because that just seemed to me we need to talk about that, because our number's gonna go up, because more people are gonna get tested. So if we're gonna go up and so if we come up like double by next week, and we saying we open up, so which is fine, but if we have that plan and we know, and we saying that we're going to do the social distancing guideline, because these folks are not going to follow it. So we just want to make sure that we as a city know what we're getting ourselves into, and we talk about it. Like, okay, we're going to open up mid-May. Base it. Hopefully the numbers will be steady, or is there a guideline if the numbers, the new cases, kind of stay, something in that nature, not necessarily, the county said it and we're doing it a week later, because it's good. That's just my little intake to it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilor Mayor first. Then
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to follow up and ask the city manager a question. So if I understand correctly, in this reference to the Red Garden, you said that a demand letter was sent to Luke Skywalker. And and apparently he's sick. So he's responded to the demand letter?
Not as of yet. I need to check with the attorney's office to see if he responded yet.
So how do we know that he's sick if he hasn't responded?
I said he was earlier, not now. We just sent him a demand letter.
Okay, when was the demand letter sent?
I think the week before last week or the week before last.
Can I get a date, please?
No, the letter was sent. The letter was actually, I don't have the date and I don't have it in front of me, but the letter was sent, I believe, just before we went on, just before we sent everyone home. So it's been a while, and I haven't seen a response. I mean, we've been checking mail at the city. We haven't gotten a response. I can follow up, but obviously with everything going on, that was one of the things that we need to follow up.
So my understanding is that there will be a follow-up on that, right?
We'll follow up on it, yes, ma'am. We did not get a response, but we'll follow up.
Councilwoman Keys?
Yes, I just wanted to say that I think the city of North Miami only has 2 marinas, and those are privately owned. They're not county park marinas. So first of all, they have to come under our laws. So until we open that and call that a non-essential business, either we open businesses or we say it's an essential business. Our 2 marinas, being private businesses, won't be able to open. I don't believe that they don't come under the county guidelines right now for opening. And I would leave that up to our attorney, but I think they have to go under our business rules.
We understand that, but at the same time, I think from the chief recommendation, Mr. Manager, you're talking about the boat ramps that's going to be open also?
Yes, in the marinas, we are going to send something out tomorrow saying that the marinas are allowed to open in North Miami.
So you're turning that into an essential business?
Yes. It's number 5. They are included on the executive order, the emergency order. The boat marinas are included on the executive order. So we're gonna the county's opening all of theirs, and we're gonna allow the 2 in North Miami to open as well.
Okay. So as long as they do their social distancing, there's no problem. We just have to enforce it.
Thank you very much. And City Attorney, do you have any reports?
Mayor, all I'd like to say is thank you all for attending the executive session. Sorry it took a while to get the technical difficulties set up, but we will try to schedule that for the rest of for sometime before the end of the week, so it's still fresh in everyone's mind. So if you can help me make some time in your schedule, we'll try to have that before Friday. Continue the executive session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you very much. See you in 2 weeks.
Opposed?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.